Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. Happy Wednesday to you and your family. Hope you're having an amazing week. Happy New Year as well. If you haven't been watching recently, it's already the 4th of January, my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you. All right, so with NEAR, we're going to take a quick look at this descending trend that's been broken and obviously help understand what's going to happen next because there is a nice little double bottom here that essentially foreshadowed this increase here today. So it's awesome, awesome stuff when this happens. We're going to look at some candlestick patterns as well as redraw out some Fibonacci levels here, of course, to kind of calibrate for the most recent data. But if you're new to the channel, I just want to kind of preface and let you know I'm not a financial advisor. I do just love teaching people to trade. I've been trading and teaching for over 17 years, and that's what allowed me to create this wonderful website where you can actually join in, watch all my training videos, and of course learn and interact with my community. We've got a trading academy community and signal group where I send out signals for every single trade that I take. We've been taking some stupidly good profits lately. Take a look at this here, 42% in 11 days from Ethereum. You got to keep in mind, patience is key in this industry right now, more specifically in a bear market. You cannot get rich overnight, and I don't know who's telling you that you can, but it's less likely. You take small wins as you get them, right? But either way, 50% from BNB. We've also got a nice one here from Ethereum at, 82% in 15 days. And then take a look at this guy. This guy's my favorite here. Solana, 195% in 3 days. So again, really awesome stuff, just killing it for the most part. And my community members are also doing really, really good. If you take a look at their trade results here, Goal is really doing awesome here, about 83%. Hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. This is here, Sack as well. Phenomenal trader. He's one of my one of my better traders and also most consistent. He's an actual admin. Fantastic to have them around. Mechanical Investor, killing it with some BNBs, and Blessed Acres, of course, always doing well. So we got some awesome traders. Come join us here. If you want to use the best exchange in the world, cryptocash.tech is where you can, of course, find all this information. But more importantly, just use the link down below for a $10,000 prize pool monthly. You basically qualify by just using trading volume and profit loss ratio. So good stuff there. Thank you again, Bitget, for offering that, as well as ExpressVPN. I've been using these guys for years, and they give you 3 extra months free on a 12-month plan. So it's really cool there. So again, got you covered, got your back if you decide you want to register. And obviously as well, if you use Cornix, the automated trading bot that you saw earlier, that also has a discount down below as well. Be sure to use that so you can benefit their phenomenal service. So I'm just super happy to have all these things available to my community members at discounted rates, because it's just kind of it's all inclusive, for lack of better terms, and a really cool situation. Either way, last thing but not least here, for NEAR, what we want to look at is a couple of key factors, and a lot of other coins are exuding this behavior. We got breaks through 50 on the RSI. And while the price hasn't officially closed above that yet, it's a strong likelihood it will. In fact, let's go ahead and draw out the new Fibonacci retracement levels so you can kind of see what that looks like. Once again, if you're curious, most recent high to most recent low. Really that simple. How far you draw it out is irrelevant. The key is that you hit the highest and lowest point. I like to draw it out a little further so I can kind of see what the Fibonacci retracement levels look like more recent. Okay, so for today, how much lower is it going to retrace, etc. That's kind of where we're at. So take a look at this here. 0.618, consistent level that the price keeps retesting, right? You can kind of see a line there. For lack of better terms, that's a strong resistance level, or strong support level, right? Previous resistance turns support. We see there, we broke through that level. We close above 0.618, that $1.56. We're gonna be in pretty good shape to see a continuation of the upside. A lot of times you'll see the price wick down here and then continue higher. And then of course, we have a third green day to fulfill the actual candlestick pattern. One of my favorite ones, of course, 3 white soldiers, and then expect potentially a 4th red day for the price to retrace. All right, so again, that's just what should happen. But right now, 0.618, strong level, good to be above that. That's effectively this 50 resistance on the RSI that we've broken through already. So closure above that would be key. Once again, if we take a look at the simple moving averages, we can see we're also above 50-day simple moving average. And what do you know? Coincidentally, it's kind of averaging itself out at 0.618. So it's no surprise the price is breaking through there now, okay? A really consistent candlestick pattern. Another thing to recognize too is just how consistent the 50-day, that's the 20-day simple moving average is. When you break above the 20, that's usually when these breakouts occur. It's like the very first thing you'll see. So it's kind of a trend reversal there. We're making higher lows instead of lower highs. But again, nice little double bottom for the win. Okay, keep an eye out for those patterns. Those are really awesome patterns. Okay, so take a look at the 4-hour here. We can see somewhat of a consistency here. See the price retesting this level here, 0.236, $1.36. It keeps hitting that Fibonacci retracement level and then breaks through. Really awesome to see that. So there's a nice little squeeze out. And what's cool about that too is we're probably overextended, but also getting a reset. So if we take a look here, we can see that we got a little bit of a reset there. We're also up to a 9. Keep in mind that 9, it's hard to really calibrate. For the most part, we're technically only about 5 candlesticks in, so we do have potential for this to continue running. I think it's less likely though, of course. This 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level at 165 should prove as a resistance. But between now and then, we can kind of see that we're overextended, right? We got the price come up to a 9, consolidate, we're up to another 9. So the likelihood of further continuation in the immediate future is lower, especially considering we are well above 70 on the RSI, and we've been maintaining that for too long. So to me, if I were to be in a trade, for example, I wait for the RSI to come back down to 70 and then I close my position or trim my position. I'm not recommending you close your position per se because there's a lot of reasons why this is probably going to continue. But on the same accord, it wouldn't hurt to take some profits and to buy the next dip if it were to pull back. 0.618 seems like a very likely level that we can see the price pull back here. So $1.56 seems appropriate. So I'm going to set my alerts here at 158 so I can kind of take a look at it and reevaluate if the price pulls back that low. Okay. Again, just some little things you can kind of do to strategize, but don't just set an alert and then take an entry. You want to reevaluate when you get there. Okay. Well, for now, that's kind of what we're looking at there. 4 hour looks pretty decent. However, very overextended. All right, so just keep that in mind. Even though this is fairly healthy of a continuation pattern, you can see these up overs, right? It's just working its way up the staircase. Look at almost how perfect these Fibonacci retracement levels are. I love how it works sometimes. Again, it's not an exact science, but for the most part, there's these little levels you can work with it. It's just fantastic when you start to have an eye for it. Let's take a look at TD sequential though here. So we've already established the fact that we've got 72 hours of continuation to the upside. We've basically been bullish for 3 days straight. While most of the bullish action happened in the last 24 hours, we're still overextended on the 4 hour time frame with 2 9s in a row, right? 72 hours effectively. We take a look here, we can see we previously hit an 8, sideways action, comes up to a 9er, and then we hit this point where it hasn't pulled back since. Okay, now this is all well and good. Up and over is a nice healthy pattern, but it's also overextended too. I'd be interested to take a look at the volume weight average price and kind of see what this looks like. This is probably well outside the standard deviation lines, at least it has been, and it's pulled back decently. So we take a look at the 15 here, you can kind of see it here. This is telling us that it's probably going to want to pull back soon, but it's also confirming here that we have a nice strong support level, secondary support at $1.50. So we do lose 0.618 at 156, and the second entry would be 150. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and probably set an alert there as well, honestly, to get my secondary potential, because if we come down here, it makes sense that we're going to get a pullback to this level, but if we continue to break down lower, the second entry would be 150. So if I were to take a long with near, I would do 156 and 150 as 2 potential entry targets. I love stacking my entry targets when there's extreme pullbacks like this that should occur. And I misspoke, it's not an extreme pullback, it's an extreme increase in value followed by a mild pullback or moderate pullback. In other words, when things are extremely overextended to the upside, I love setting multiple entry targets, so that way we get filled at both, average our price down right here at a halfway point, and then head a realistic target somewhere in this range. Again, these are all things that you will learn in my trading community. Obviously, by looking at some of my trade structures, you'll recognize that. But generally speaking, the best way to take profit, in my opinion, right now during a bull market, is to have multiple entries and to have somewhat of a tight targets. Okay, so that's essentially what I'm looking for with near. Again, looking pretty good here. That the 15 actually looks fantastic. Taking a quick look at the Ichimoku cloud, you see this common characteristic with a lot of other coins. I covered Ethereum Classic. Ethereum also has this correlation, whereas everything that we're seeing so far with the cloud is green light. Basically, do not close your trade position. But here's the thing, if the price goes over here and sideways and consolidates there, that's going to be positive, but it'll also tell us that we probably want to close our position here or trim your position because we might lose that to the downside. It's essentially the reason why the lagging span is so beneficial. I like it, extremely helpful in letting you know that the momentous trends have discontinued. Now, they're not 100%. You can see this happen and the price continue upwards, but for the most part, it's a conservative indicator to help you get in and out of your trades before things go awry, all right? So, how many times can you count on your one hand? Well, actually, no, that analogy wouldn't work. Either way, there's so many times when things just don't happen the way they're supposed to in cryptocurrency, so you got to kind of be flexible, but if you have good structures and how you set up your trade targets and your profit targets, you're going to be just fine. Okay. Again, those are all things I teach, but regardless, look at this one last thing here. Right there, the secondary level here, at least I'm calling it a secondary level. That'd be my second entry. At 150, you can see that the cloud is consolidating right there for the moment. Okay. So for the most part, we should experience a pullback. I'm speculating a pullback to 0.618 there at $1.56 and or continuation lower to 150 and then the next leg up. It would be nice if it pulled back immediately so we can leg up again quickly to fulfill that 3 white soldier pattern on the daily, but we're still a little early there, okay? So there's never any guarantees on that, but I can tell you at this point, it would make sense we see a slight pullback before the next leg up if it were to, okay? I think the probability of the next leg up is almost inevitable at this point, pending Bitcoin doesn't take a crap. You gotta recognize, if Bitcoin has a bad day, a lot of these things are going to fail. At least have some difficulty. And keep this in mind. Again, I haven't covered Bitcoin yet, but yesterday we have this level here at about 16,900 as a key level resistance. If we can't break past through that and come up here to the 17.2 range for Bitcoin, then a lot of these other altcoins are going to get hit fairly hard. But once again, Bitcoin dominance is on the decrease. A lot of alts are getting stimulated here today, and it's fantastic to see this. All right, so cool stuff there. So just be cautious and careful, of course. That's always the general recommendation. But once again, further upside seems likely. And then, of course, I think a pullback would make sense considering we're overextended in the last 72 hours. So 3 trading days straight, we've seen this. You could even argue that this is 3 white soldiers. Those could be the first 2, and this is the third. All right. So again, I think a pullback would make sense. Just how hard is it going to pull back? That's the question we got to see. We got to wait and find out. Again, patience is a virtue. Make sure you try to utilize that and work on that. If you're going to become a better trader at all, that is the key thing. Make sure you watch my final chapter in my Trading Academy videos to ensure that you're familiar with risk management and patience. It's really extremely important. Just make sure you check that out in your own time. All right. So again, thanks again for joining me here. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. You want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is the site. Hope you have a good one. Thanks again for your time. We'll see you next one. Take care.